Hello and welcome to math. Today we're going to learn about rate of change and slope. Rate of change shows the relationship between two changing quantities. Rate of change is the change in the dependent variable, which is our y values, over the change in the independent variable, which is our x values. So change, when you think of change, you want to think subtraction. Right? So think about like you go to the store, you buy something that's 50 cents, you pay $1. To figure out your change, how much change you get back, right? You subtract $1 minus 50, you get 50 cents back, right? So change means subtract. Okay, so change in y over change in x. So we take our second y value minus our first y value, and we put it over our second x value minus our first x value, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I was going to do it on this table over here, I need to label what's my x1 and my x2, and I need to label what's my y1 and my y2. So this is my y2 because literally it's my second y value. This is my y1 because literally it's my first y value, right? Okay, so to find the rate of change, I have to use this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 was 520 minus my y1, which is 260, and then over my x2, which was 2, minus my x1, which is 1. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1. That's an easy one. 520 minus 260 is 260. So 260 over 1 is the same thing as 260. So my rate of change is 260. Okay, so that is how we find rate of change in a table. All right, pause the video and try these three on your own. Get it checked by a teacher when you are done. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video, and hopefully you did those three on your own. Hopefully you got it checked by a teacher and you did great. Okay, so the other thing we can see is rate of change. Another way of saying rate of change is slope. All right, and slope can be shown 4 different ways, and these are the different ways right over here. All right, so we can be shown this way. This is a positive slope because we read from left to right. This is going up from left to right, so that is a positive slope. This one here is a negative slope because it's going down from left to right. This one here, it's staying flat. If it stays flat, it is 0. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it's staying the same, it's 0 slope. And this one that's straight up and down is a little trickier. It's called undefined. Undefined. So whenever you have a straight up and down line, that means that it is an undefined. It means there's no slope or the slope is undefined. All right, and these 4 ways are how we recognize or how we can describe slope. All right, so let's think about slope on a line. All right, so slope is pretty much the distance between any 2 points on a line. And it's always the vertical change over the horizontal change. Or an easy way to remember this is rise over run. So the rise is how many up or down the line goes, and the run is how many over it goes. So it's still the change in y over the change in x. Because up and down is our y-axis, right? And change in x is our left and right axis, right? So change in y over change in x. So let's see, if I had this line here, I see there's a point here. This one already gave you this answer, but I can show you why. This is the slope. So we have 2 points. So to figure out our slope, we got to figure out first how many up or down we have to go. So I see this is a positive line. It's going up. So how many up do I have to go? I have to go up 1, 2 lines, right? So that would go on top, 2. All right, then I say how many over do I have to go to get to that next point? Well, how many over do I have to go? 1, 2, 3. So this would be 2 over 3. All right, so when you're given a line on a graph, it's pretty easy to find the slope. You just count how many up or down it goes, and that goes on top. And then you can count how many over it goes, and that goes on bottom. All right, so let's practice some more slope. All right, so let's do this top left one. I see a point right there and a point there on my line. Okay, so my slope is my rise over my run. So it's how many up or down go on top. All right, so I see this is a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. So how many times do I have to go up? I have to go up 1, 2 lines, right? So 2 is going to be on the top part of my fraction, all right? So the bottom part of my fraction is how many lines I have to count over. So let's see here. I have to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope for this line would be 2 over 5. All right, let's try this one below it. Let's see here. I'm going to put 2 points because there's no points on here. I'll put a point there and a point there. All right, this one, it doesn't go up or down, right? So this has a 0 on top. How many over do we go? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went over 4. So this would be 0 over 4. 0 over 4 we can simplify, and it would be 0. This is a 0 slope. That's our answer, 0. It's a 0 slope. It doesn't go up or down, doesn't change, right? This one, remember when straight up and down, this is undefined, right? And then the reason why it's undefined, I can show you. Let's say I had 2 points. How many up does it go? Bump, bump. It goes up 2. How many over does it go? It doesn't go over any. It goes over 0. 2 divided by 0. We cannot divide by a 0. Watch. If I go to Desmos calculator here, and it was 2 over 0, right? If I put 2 divided by 0, look what it gives me. Undefined. We can't divide by 0. Okay? So whenever you have a 0 in the bottom of your fraction, that is undefined. So this answer is undefined. Okay? All right? Try these other ones on your own. We can do one more together. Let's see. Let's do this one. All right, so I have a point here I see, and I see another point here. That looks like a good one. So this one, let's see, this one's going down. It's a negative slope because it's going down from left to right. How many down does it go? It goes down 1. So that would be -1 because it went down. How many over does it go? It goes over 1. So it'd be -1 over 1. So my slope is -1. Okay, so we did 4 of these together. What I want you to do is try these 2 on your own. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. Do these 2 on your own and see how you do. See if you can find the slope. So remember, rise over run. The top number is how many up or down, and the bottom number is how many over. So pause the video, try these 2, get it checked with the teacher when you're done. All right, hopefully you paused the video and did those on your own. All right, so another way we can do this, deal with slope, is dealing with ordered pairs. All right, and when dealing with ordered pairs, we do it the same way we did with a table. We use this same formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the first thing we want to do is label ordered pairs, and then we want to write a formula, and then we want to substitute, and then we want to solve. Okay, so let's do one together. Let's see here. Let's do this top right one. All right, so let's see. I'm going to order my stuff first. All right, so I'm going to label this one x1 because that's my first x value they gave me. I'm going to label this one y1 because that's my first y value they gave me. I'm going to label this one x2 because that's my second x value they gave me. And I'm going to label this one y2 because that's the second y value they gave me. So now I want to plug it into my formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right? So I just plug it into that formula, and then I can figure out the slope. So y2 we said was -3. So it'd be -3 minus y1. y1 was also -3. So -3 minus -3 over x2 we said was 5, and minus x1 we said was -1. All right, -3 minus -3. 2 negatives make a positive, right? So this is really -3 plus 3, which gives me 0. 5 minus -1. 2 negatives make a positive. 5 plus 1 is 6. So this is 0 over 6. So that equals 0. So our slope for those 2 points is 0. All right. Let's do one more together. Let's do this bottom middle one. Y-intercept. So when it's a y-intercept, that means my x value is 0. My y value is what it tells me. So y-intercept of 2 would be 0, 2. X-intercept means my y-intercept, or my y value is 0. So it'd be -3, 0. Then I can label my points and put this into my formula. So this would be x1, this would be y1, because that's the first ones they gave me. This would be x2, this would be y2. And then I can plug it into that formula. So y2, which was 0, minus y1, which was 2, over x2, which was -3, minus x1, which was 0. And I get 0 minus 2 is -2. -3 minus 0 is -3. -2 over -3 is the same thing as 2 over 3. The negatives cancel out, right? 2 negatives make a positive. So my slope is 2 over 3. All right, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do. What I want you to do, try those 4 on your own. So all you gotta do is label your points. What's x1, what's y1, what's x2, what's y2, and plug it into our formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so try those 4 on your own, pause the video, get it checked by a teacher when you are done. All right, last thing, vertical lines, straight up and down lines, always have a slope of undefined. When you calculate that slope, you'll get a 0 in the denominator. You'll get a 0 in the bottom, right? You'll have a 0 in the bottom. It'll be like 2, 0, something like that. So that means that is undefined. You cannot divide by 0. Horizontal lines, lines that go left and right, have a slope of 0. When you calculate this, you get a 0 in the numerator. It'll be like 0 over 4, something like that, right? So when you have a 0 in the numerator, that means you have a 0 slope. 0 in the numerator or 0 on top, it's 0. 0 in the denominator or 0 on bottom, undefined. All right, that's super important to remember. All right, so that's rate of change and slope. Hope you guys learned it pretty well. Hope if you ever have any questions, please ask a teacher. We're always here to help you. See you next time.